I just rewatched Angry Birds and it made me freaking angry. Like the kind of angry where I was like, I need to play piano, and I was just like beating the tiles. So my mom came in to check and she was like, honey, softly, what's going on? And I was just like, what do you mean softly? Why do we always have to play the piano softly? I want to play it angrily. Like, I don't want to be a good girl all the time. Let me be angry. And she was just like, it was literally the funniest thing ever. No, but seriously, the message of this movie is such an important one. People pleasing and just this good girl mentality has been so ingrained in our society, especially with women, that a movie like Angry Birds is highly needed to be watched. Hello, if you're new here, my name is Farron, and I believe that life is just like a movie, and I'm actively turning mine into a movie I'd never skip. On this channel specifically, I love to do movie deep dives though, because to me, movies are so much more than just entertainment, and I want to get their wholeness out of it. Now for today, Angry Birds. Angry Birds is an animated movie. I actually don't know from what year, but I do know that the third one is coming out soon. And it's based on a game, if you don't know it. It's basically where you have flightless birds that you put in a slingshot, and then phew, like the goal is to destroy the pigs, and then you're like phew. And this movie follows the story of Red. You get it? Yeah, the outfit. Who is the bird that's been ostracized by the town for being too angry. Things change though when the pigs come onto Bird Island, and they soon begin to realize that they fearing the anger or pushing away the anger is actually doing them more harm than good. Anger is actually one of my favorite emotions. As someone who used to be the biggest good girl, meaning not in a good sense that I'm like a nice, respectful person, but like a good girl in a way that it is heavily, deeply into people pleasing and puts herself at the last position and puts everyone else in the first position. Anger was such an underexplored emotion in my life until this one day. It was a few years back. It was in Singapore. And I was in a really, really bad place. I was really deep in my fears, deep in my anxiety, deep in my weakness mindset that you can literally imagine. I was in Singapore. I did not go out at all. I was so deep in this mindset that I was at home, sick, at the hotel, or like this place where we were staying, just sick and just weak and just like, ugh. It was the most horrible state. And at some point, I just burst. I was like, this fucking sucks. I'm done with this giving into the fears. I'm done with this. And I activated such a deep anger within me that I have never felt before. I was fuming. I was angry. And I was suddenly feeling such a strength and power that it actually kind of took me by surprise. Because in this angry state, I just didn't care anymore. I was in such a I don't give a mindset that all the overthinking about the fears, the doubts, the oh my god, I'm too weak, oh my god, I will never do this, all these voices were suddenly like silent. And in this state, I got a download. It gave me a whole new perspective on anger as an emotion and what effect and potential it has for us when we feel it and let it feel, like let it come up. So what I wrote down basically in that moment was, in these angry states, I experienced a sort of power and stability, the absence of fears and doubts, because I just didn't give a fuck about anything. And even if I was in a horrible state where my heart was completely shut, because it was a very extreme state of anger. It was like I can go and like vandalize something. Like if someone crossed my path, I'm just gonna crush their car shield, like something like that, you know? So even if it was a very horrible state where my heart was completely shut, I liked the feeling of being powerful. And I realized I needed to experience that so I would know how it feels to truly be within your power and free of all those little voices in your head. Yet the key is now to leave your heart open and source this power that you feel inside from a state of love and not resentment and hate. And then I wrote something about Zuko from Avatar. Avatar? I don't know. Because I saw the parallel here. He was a freaking prodigy and such a good bender, but he sourced his power from a place of extreme hate. And then in the third season, when he finally heals this part of himself, he suddenly finds himself disconnected from this power and he cannot bend anymore. It was this episode, I think, where they go to the dragons, or the Sun Village with Aang. And there he learns to source his power from a place of love instead. Because the power itself, the anger itself, is not the issue. It's from where you source it. And I think that is also the case with Red in Angry Birds. Like his anger, even though he tries so desperately to suppress it like all the other people to belong in this town, he cannot fully suppress it. And once it comes up, it comes from a place of hurt. Because here's the thing, you think, or the townspeople themselves think, they are nice because they are not letting any anger out. But what happens here is not that they're nice per se, but just that they're suppressing their emotions. And that then results in passive aggressive states. So they take out this suppressed emotion of anger in like teasing and bullying on this one bird that is unable to suppress his feelings. They resent the anger and even are scared of it. There was this one scene where it was like, oh my god, don't look at him, maybe it's contagious, like as if anger itself and feeling anger was a disease. But the anger itself is not the problem. It's where you source it from. Once the pigs stole their eggs, they were able to source their anger from a place of, give me back my kids. This is an anger that burns not to hurt, but to set boundaries and to stand up for yourself. Anger is kind of like a fire that allows you to burn away anything that does not belong to you. It transmutes and transforms. It burns away things like people pleasing or doubts and worries. Like the birds were so focused on pleasing the pigs, putting themselves in the last position, just doing everything like the pigs need to be happy. Like, what are you doing, Red? You're disrespecting our guests and stuff like that. But once they were robbed, they were just standing there weak, like, what do we do now? Because they were disconnected from their power. Like, what can we do? Like, we're not as powerful or as smart as the pigs. Like, we're never gonna get back our kids. And then Mr. Red steps up and is like, I think you need to be a bit more angry here. Anger is an emotion we need to feel so something can be transmuted or transformed. It's an emotion we sometimes need to feel to activate our powers, because we're sometimes so deep in our own that we're just disconnected from our true self. And the only way we can reconnect sometimes is through letting that fire of anger burn us up and burn away everything that is standing in the way of our power. And it paves a path towards our power again. I'm genuinely curious, like, how many times did I say anger in this video? I'm not sure, but I feel like it was a lot of times. But what is your take on anger and our people-pleasing good girl society, especially if you're a woman? I want to hear your thoughts. Make sure to leave them in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, also make sure to like and follow, because that will then show me that I'm not only talking to the void, but there's a sexy cute girly behind the camera, behind the screen, that is watching and being like, yeah, I feel this. Yeah. Anyway, I love you and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.